Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Akbar Setiawan. In this video, I'll explain my opinion about learning perspective in educational psychology. I think I'll taking the example of high school students as reference material to strengthen my argument. So let's start from the first theory. First theory, behaviorism theory. Behaviorism theory of learning emphasizes that learning is an observable change in behavior resulting from the relationship between of stimulus and response. This theory focuses not on mental process including something like thoughts or feelings, but this is on visible behavior. According to behaviorist learning theory, a person is said to have learned if there is a change in behavior because experience or practice. Meanwhile, at behaviorism, I think it's not really good because giving rewards or punishment can work for elementary school children, but in senior high school, they will get bored with repetitive exercise without real context. The second theory, humanistic psychology. Humanistic psychology in the study process is an approach that views learning not just as a process of transferring knowledge, but this is a process of humanizing humans. In this theory, the learning process is considered successful if students can understand their environment and themselves. According to Maslow, in Maslow's opinion, Maslow's the student will not be able to learn optimally or achieve self-actualization if their needs basic such as safety, affection, or even hungry, have not been met. In my opinion, humanistic theory focuses too much on students' comfort and self-expression. If teachers are also lenient in their concern for students' feelings, problems serious in grammar or pronunciation often go unaddressed. So they will have difficulty when facing high-level English exams such as TOEFL, IELTS, and university exams. Next, cognitive psychology theory. There are three important processes according to Jean Piaget and David Ausubel to understand how information enters our scans. The first, assimilation. Assimilation is fitting new information into existing schemas. For example, the child knows it's a dog, and then he sees a new breed of dog, and then he put in the dog category. The second is accommodation, changing or creating new schemas because new information doesn't fit with the existing ones. For example, the child sees a cat. Initially, thinks it's a dog, but in real life, the cat say meow meow, and then he put in the new category is cat. Cat. Next, meaningful learning. According to David Ausubel, learning is most effective when new material is linked to concept already understood, rather than simply memorizing, or you can say rote learning. Cognitive scientists often compare the human brain to a computer. Learning involves talking in information, processing information, storing information in memory, and recalling information when they need it. Pure cognitivism tend to view learning as an individual activity within one's own mind. The weakness is language is a tool for social communication, not just a code to be cracked. Cognitivism often forgets that English is learned for interacting with others, not simply for retention. The impact is learning can become so boring, like something like too many patterns, grammar, and independent practice exercise, and something like that. The students lose sight of the essence of language as a social tool. The last theory, social cognitive theory. Social cognitive theory is a psychological theory that states that people learn not only from personal experience, but also by observing others in a social environment. This theory was this theory was developed by Albert Bandura as an extension of his earlier social learning theory. Its main point that humans are not simply recipients of environment stimuli, but rather individuals who can get the process information, make the plans, and evaluate themselves. So I will share the little experience when I was in second grade in my senior high school. Yeah, if I'm not forget. In the class, I felt confident in English learning, not because of anything, because I understood English material better than my other friends. Yeah, even though I wasn't that smart at the moment. But my self confidence was very high at the time, and I was also often a role model for my friends during English class. So, some of my friends support me at the time. I also told my friends, don't judge people wrongly if you are also still learning. The most important is that a good environment will influence a person's learning style. I think there from the many theory, I wanna using the social cognitive theory. High school students are at a development stage where shyness and fear of being judged by their friends is very high. Yeah, so in my opinion, if the classroom environment is judgment or they often laugh at mispronunciation, students' brains automatically active an effective filter. According to Stephen Crescen's theory, when this filter is high, even the most clear language input cannot be processed by the brain. So that's why the environment acts as a cognitive support that students dare to take risks and speak without fear. Next session, application as a future English teacher. Through the concept of reciprocal determinism, maybe I will create a safe and supportive classroom environment to influence students' internal motivation. I say, don't judge your friend if you same still study. So they feel confident to try speaking practice without fear of being judged. Okay. Next, closing reflection. There are two questions of closing reflection. The first question, what is comparison taught you about learning? I got a lot from comparing theories in the English learning process. And I also choose high school students as comparison material. I was taught you before I start convey my argument. I chose senior high school student. I will first practice a self-efficacy test on my students. At least they have 50% confidence and intention to learn English because this method focuses on building self-efficacy or give students motivation to believe that. Uh, so they have ability of learning and speaking English. Last question. Why understanding learning theories is important for English teachers? Yeah, teaching English without understanding learning theories, something like doctor prescribing medicine without know anatomy. You might get lucky and cure a student, but more often than not, you're just guessing. Because in my opinion, learning theory is not abstract academic nonsense. They are the operating system in the classroom. Without them, a teacher is just the content delivering machine, unable to address the challenges that learning stops. You should balancing the scientific and social aspects. English is unique in that it's both a skill like sport and a subject something like history. Theory helps your transition. When you're using behaviorism for pronunciation and vocabulary, but you quickly switch to social cognitive theory or humanism theory when it's time for students or to express their own identities in a second language. Theory is your map. Teaching without a map may eventually get you there, but you will waste a lot of full time, and your student potential along the way. So the conclusion is social cognitive is the right choice for high school students because it breeds students' cognitive needs or understanding rules with their social needs, or in other words, interacting and being recognized by the environment. I think that's all. Thank you for your attention, and I hope I can get the excellent score in my examination. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.